या रहीमुल करीम, 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 या रहीमुल करीम. Shukran lillah walhamdulillah, shukran lillah walhamdulillah. Ya Ali Madad, all friends. Ya Ali Madad Kamare Sahib, Ya Ali Madad Aziz sir.
Ya Ali Madad, indeed, indeed, Rahim is most merciful and most generous. Ya Rahimul Kareem is haq and true. The Imam Zaman is Shah Rahimul Hussaini, the most merciful and the most generous. Bahut nawazish. Thank you, friends, for joining. Inshallah, as last week, we will take this chapter a little bit further under a different title. Today, our focus would be on the Imam Zaman. What does it mean when we say Imam Zaman? And the Bayah and the Farman of the Imam of the time. Ya Shah Rahimul Hussaini Hazir Imam. Ya Shah Rahimul Hussaini Hazir Imam. Ya Mulai Mehरबान मदद फरमा मदद फरमा या मौलाए मेहरबान मदद फरमा या मौलाए मेहरबान मदद फरमा मदद फरमा या मौला तू जानता है कि हम गरीब तेरी हिदायत तेरे नूर के बगैर तेरे अमर और फरमान के बगैर कुछ भी नहीं और कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते. हमारी रूहें आपसे बार बार हजार बार फिदा हो और लाख लाख शुक्राने कि आपने करम नवाजिश करके हम गरीबों को अपना पाक दीदार और पाक फरमान फरमाया. एक मोमिन की जिंदगी में बस वही लम्हा सबसे ज्यादा खुशगवार होता है जब वो अपने इमाम ज़मान को देख लेता है और उसकी एक मुस्कुराहट उसके लिए जिंदगी भर काफी रहती है. May our soul be sacrificed to the Imam Zaman one time, 100 times, 1,000 times, and our gratitude and appreciation for the Imam Zaman that he granted us his luminous didar. For the moment, there is no more happy day no more happier than the day that he lies his eyes on the Imam Zaman. The day of the Didar of the Imam is the most happiest day for a moment. And with the Farman of the Imam Zaman, moment finds his way into the physical world and into the spiritual world. Without his Farman and the Amr, moment is nothing but a dust in the air. Moment has no value. But with the Imam Zaman, when Imam is with him and when he is with the Imam Zaman, Imam is that gold which touches the moment and turn their copper into the gold. मोमिन जो हवा में एक जर्रे के बराबर भी नहीं इमाम के बिगर, इमाम एक ऐसा पारस है जब वो मोमिन को छूता है, जब इमाम मोमिन के साथ है और मोमिन इमाम के साथ है, तो उसके इसी लम्स की वजह से वो जर्रा मट्टी का सोना बन जाता है। सैयदना बिन नासिर खुसरू फरमाते हैं, I was like a dark night, but when Imam's Noor was on me, I became like a daylight. मैं एक अंधेरी रात की तरह था, लेकिन जब इमाम के नूर की रोशनी मुझ पर पड़ी तो मैं दिन के उजाले की तरह हो गया। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ले अला मुहम्मदिन व आले मोहम्मद। इस्माइली तरीके के अंदर इमामत का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है, हाजिर वो मौजूद इमाम मुबीन का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है वो अनब्रोकन है। The concept of the Imam in Ismaili Tariqa, the concept of Imam Mubin, the present and the living Imam, the one you can see with your eyesight. एक ऐसा इमाम जिसको अपने आंखों से आप देख सकते हैं। ये सिलसिला अनटूट अनब्रोकन है और यही कॉन्सेप्ट कुरान का है, यही कॉन्सेप्ट कुरान का है। वो मोमिनीन जो इमाम के फरमान के एन मुताबिक कुरान की हिकमत को समझते हैं, वो इस बात को जानते हैं कि नूरन अला नूर, light upon light. And today we will cover this in much more detail with a different dimension, and we are not going to cover the ayah and nur, just the concept of light upon light. एक और जविये से इसको हम देखेंगे आज कि क्या मतलब है। हालांकि ये टॉपिक हमने अलग अलग तरीके से, even though we have covered this topic in many different forms, but every single time there is a fresh new look, understanding. And you ask, how so? It is truly the blessing of the Imam Zaman. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. That this sort of understanding comes to the Mu'mineen. For that, Imam Zaman of the time, Imam Shah Karim Al Husseini, in early times, in 1967, have said this. This is a Farman Mubarak of Mumbai, India, November 22nd, 1967. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. My beloved spiritual children, I have told you on many an occasion how important it is that if you learn parts of the Quran, you should understand their meaning. It is important that if you recite or know parts of the Quran, you should be able to explain their meaning. You should be able to explain their meaning. Don't forget that our tariqah of Islam is an esoteric branch of Islam. Esoteric meaning means that what is written is there, but its meaning is not there to everyone. It is there to those who are part of our Jamaat. And it is important, therefore, that if you learn parts of the Quran, you should be able to explain the esoteric meaning of those parts. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Taking this farman, we will talk about light upon light, Nuran Allah Nur. The concept of Imamat, Imam after Imam after Imam. The one Imam who is Nur, in the example of a lamp, a light, gives its light to the like Imam. Some of you may not know what that means, like Imam. Like Imam meaning the next Imam. इस फरमान के तहत हम इस बात को समझने की कोशिश करेंगे कि जब हम कहते हैं नूरन अला नूर, लाइट अपॉन लाइट, तो जब एक इमाम जो असखुद नूर है वो अपने बेटे यानी कि लायक इमाम, आने वाले इमाम को अपने नूर से रोशनी देता है, तो उसके अंदर ये नूर उजागर होता है। और इसी मायने में ये नूरन अल्लाह नूर है। कि एक नूर पर दूसरा नूर। अगर आप मेरी बात को गौर से सुन रहे हैं तो ही इस बात को समझ पाएंगे। So when Imam, who is a complete noor, light, the noor in the like Imam, the next Imam, upcoming Imam, the noor is lit in him. In that sense, in that meaning, this is Nuran ala Nur, light upon light. The transformation of the light. The word transformation is not correct until the day that is completely transferred from the previous Imam to the next Imam. Up until then, this Noor is Nuran ala Noor, meaning the current Imam have a Noor and he have also lit the Noor in the like Imam, the next Imam, the upcoming Imam. And the transfer takes time. Is not all of the sudden, but a process. Those of you who were with this Garib and Nachis and had attended last 2 or 3 sessions which we have taken since the events of the last 10 days, know and remember that how Noor gets transferred and what is the process of that. If you were not in those sessions, make sure, only if you like to learn about your Imam and about the Noor in the Imam, give your 1 hour of time and listen to those lectures. So you may have a complete understanding. Our Imam Shah Karim truly wished upon the Jamaat. And I'm quoting his words. Perhaps my Jamaat would recognize the Imam of the time. Unquote. Have we recognized the Imam? And you cannot recognize the Imam without understanding the Noor, the transformation, the transfer, the process of the Noor. How does Imam becomes Imam? My brother and sister, my elders and young ones, as an Ismaili, murid of the Imam of the time, फरमान बरदारी should be our top priority. Farman bardari should be our top priority. An Imam wish for you to recognize him, not his body, not Prince Karim Aga Khan. He's speaking of Noor, Imam, and Imamat. In the Quran, Surah 17:71 speaks about the everlasting, ever present Imam always are with every time and all the people of the time. In these words, the day when we will be summoned, every people of every time, through their Imam Zaman, then whoever is given his book of deed in his right hand shall read their book joyfully, and they shall not be dealt with unjustly in the slightest. And then the next ayat, and I hope there is not a single Ismaili that will fall into this next ayat. खुदावन ताला कुरान के अंदर इमामत के हर वक्त होने की जो दलील देते हैं कि हर जमाने में हर जमाने के लोगों को उनके जमाने के इमाम के साथ बुलाया जाएगा और उन लोगों को जिनको उनका नामाए आमाल उनके सीधे हाथ में दिया जाएगा वो उसको खुशी खुशी पढ़ेंगे और जरा बराबर भी उन पर आंच नहीं होगी. Who are these people who will receive this book of deed and they will be joyful? Those who are Farman Bardar, those who have kept their bayah and the promise with the Imam. And our promise to Imam is that I will always follow your Farman. Always will follow your Farman. That is our promise to the Imam. What is the topic of today? Imam Zaman, Bayah, and Farman Mubarak. And the next line, in the next ayat, मुझे उम्मीद है कि कोई भी इस्माइली इसके अंदर नहीं होगा और वो ये है but whoever is blind in this life they shall remain blind in the hereafter and far astray from the right path. और जो कोई भी इमाम से अंधा बना रहा इस दुनिया में, इमाम से मुंह मोड़ दिया इस दुनिया में, वो उस दुनिया में भी अंधा होगा और उसको इमाम का दीदार नहीं होगा और वो रास्ते से बहुत ही दूर का भटका हुआ होगा. नौजविला 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 हम में से ऐसा कोई भी मोमिन नहीं है, ऐसा कोई भी मोमिन नहीं है. आप इन आयतों को इमाम के फरमान की रोशनी में पढ़ें। इमाम आका सुल्तान मोहम्मद शाह इस आयत के बारे में अपनी मेमोर्स में कुछ इस तरह से फरमाते हैं। आवर 40th इमाम, Imam Aka Sultan Muhammad Shah Salawatullah Alaihi, may our soul be sacrificed to their Imam, says in the memoirs, Muslims indeed know no limitation merely to the prophets of the Israel. They are ready to admit that there were similar divinely inspired messengers in other countries. Gautam Buddha, Sri Krishna, Sri Ram in India, Socrates in Greece, the wise men of China, and many others, sages and saints amongst people and civilization, trace of which we have lost. Thus, man's soul has never been left without a specially inspired messenger from the soul that sustains, embarrass, and in the universe. इमाम के बगैर ये दुनिया नहीं चलती है और हर हमेशा दुनिया के अंदर एक हादी बरक रहता है। एक हादी बरक हर हमेशा दुनिया में हाजिर और मौजूद होता है। हाजिर और मौजूद होता है। In the light of the last week's event, where we saw our Shah Rahimul Saini, Allahumma Salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad, and the Bayah ceremony. What is the meaning of Bayah to you, and to you, and to you? What is the meaning of Bayah? If I would say loosely, Bayah means that you as a murid will follow the Farman of your Murshid, Imam Zaman. Simply put, आपकी नजर में बैया का क्या मतलब है? अगर हम उसको आसान अल्फाजों में बयान करें तो बैया का मतलब होता है कि एक मुरीद अपने मुर्शीद इमाम ज़मान के फरामीन पर अमल करेगा और ये वादा है। और इमाम promises that I will guide my murid. The murid promises he will follow Imam's Farman, and the murshid promises he will guide his followers. एक मुरीद वादा करता है कि मैं अपने जमाने के इमाम का फरमान मानूंगा और मुर्शीद वादा करता है कि मैं अपने मुरीद की दौड़वानी करूंगा। क्या आपने अपने इमाम को नहीं सुना? I will dedicate my entire life for the upliftment of the Jamaat. He promises he will guide you. Do you understand your promise? And you have promised that you will follow him, meaning his farman. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Meaning of the bayat. The word bayat is derived from the bayah, which literally means buying and selling, a contract. Technically, it means moments making a covenant with God through the prophet and Ulil Amr, his successor, in order to attain the pleasure of God and the salvation of the moment. They are pleased and ready to offer any kind of sacrifice of life and wealth. Believers should abandon unlawful desires in order to truly obey God, the Messenger, and Ulil Amr. Atiullah wa atiu Rasul wa Ulil Amr minkum, the one who is amongst you. भैया एक खरीद और फरोख्त है, is a two-way contract, a two-way promise. Two-way promise. Imam, I have never seen back away from his promise. He always stand firm on his promise. And what did he promise? I will guide you. But we have seen Mu'mineen, either they don't understand the promise, sometimes they follow the promise, fulfill the promise, another time they don't. And unfortunately, sometimes they break the promise. Imam never does that. He is firm on his belief. Is very, very firm on his belief, on his promise. In our dua, we read this every day 3 times, and we renew our bayah to the Imam Zaman 3 times per se. हम अपनी दुआ के अंदर रोजाना ही 3 मरतबा इस बैयत को और उसकी समझ को दोहराते हैं। यानी कि आप इस बैयत को मजबूत बनाते हैं। लेकिन जो बात समझने की है वो ये है, और ये सादा सी बात है, कोई मुश्किल बात नहीं है, कि हम मुरीद होने के नाते से अपने मुर्शीद इमाम जमान के फरमान पर चलेंगे। बस बिल्कुल सादा बात है, इसमें कोई चू चरा इफ्स एंड बट्स नहीं है। The promise is as simple as this, that I will follow you, my Murshid, Imam Zaman. There is no ifs and buts, and we don't need to make it more complicated than that. I have for years have made one promise to myself and to those who listen to me. I will make it as easier for you to understand our tariqah, our imam, and the batin of the things as simple as possible. Why make it so complicated? And we know this ayat very well. Surah 48, ayat 10. Inna lazina yubayunaka innama yubayunallah yadullahi fawqaydin. Verily, those who give bayah, the oath of allegiance to you, O Prophet. They verily give bayah to Allah, and Allah's hand is upon them. जिस किसी ने इमाम के हाथ पर बैयत की तो बस ऐसा है जैसे अल्लाह के हाथ पर बैयत की, और खुदा का हाथ, जमाने के इमाम का हाथ मोमिनों के कंधे पर है। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मदिन व आले मोहम्मद। So whoever breaks his bayah does so with his own soul loss, and whoever fulfills his covenant with Allah, He will soon grant him immense rewards. Surah 48 आयत 10। और जो कोई इस बैयत को तोड़ता है उसका नुकसान उसकी रूह को होता है, और जो कोई इस बैयत पर मजबूती से रहता है उसका फायदा अनकरीब उनके लिए है, उनके लिए है। Bayah is an important act between the murid and the murshid, the followers and the imam. But understanding what we are saying and doing, because without the understanding, what is the use? At the beginning of the Islam, there were many who would say La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, but they never believed it. And then there were others in the middle who said that Allah and Muhammad is his Rasul, but then they left, meaning they did not fulfill the Farman of the Rasul Khuda. And then there was a third category. And those who said La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, Aliyun Amirul Mu'minin, Aliullah. And then they broke their promise, their bayah to the Ulil Amra Minkum, and left. But inshallah, I see all of you, the true murid and the mu'min, the followers of the Imam Zaman. And look how fortunate we are that there was not a single moment when we did not have the Imam Zaman with us. The Noor was always present. The Noor of the Shah Karim started very, very early on. He lit that light into the Shah Rahim Al Husseini Hazar Imam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Long time before any of you knew who would be the Imam. And that is the Batini matter between the Sabiq Imam and Laik Imam. Sabiq Imam, the father Imam. The Laik Imam, the son Imam. Between them. And who were the witness to this light? Those who have been given this light. And there are always and always and always those who Imam through his Isme Azam gives the light, and they become witness to this fact. But it is not for the common. And the Jamaat do not need to worry that they ever be left without a Nur and the Imam. That is the promise of the Imam. And Imam Shah Karim had promised us, I always be with you. What did he say? I always will be with you. And he is true to his word. He is with us today. The Jama changes, but the Imam and the Nur remains from the day one, from the Awal to the day last, to the Akhir. Never, never there is a disconnection. Light upon light. Let's try to understand this concept. When Shah Karim was present and Shah Rahim was present, meaning last month, last year, from the day that Noor lit the Noor, the concept of Nuran Allah Noor was present. So the question, before you ask me that question, so when does the Noor gets completed? In the Shah Rahim Al Husseini Hazar Imam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. There are processes, and those who follow the Imam's Farman and are Imam Shanaz, because Imam wanted the Jamaat to recognize the Imam, and those who recognize the Imam know exactly what I'm talking about, and they are present on this line. They are present on this line. That there is a process. Initially, the love and the ilm of the Imam gets transferred or descend into the son, the next Imam. Then Isme Azam, the bowl is given to the son, the next Imam, by the Imam Zaman of the time. And slowly, slowly, that Noor gets lit, and a spark, a bigger spark, a light, a bigger light, and a full-fledged lamp, Noor. It is not necessary that as soon the Shah Karim gave his light to Shah Rahim, there was no more light in Shah Karim. That is the very ill concept and true misunderstanding, that light gets transferred like this in all of a sudden in one go. Not true. Not true. It's a process. And through the nafs, and at the end, through the amr. And now somebody before asked me, let me go and answer you. Does the amr came when we heard online that Shah Karim has given the amr to Shah Rahim? No, no, my friends, my brother and sister, no. The amr came in the blink of an eye. When Shah Karim, without touching Shah Rahim, transferred, and here the word transferred is correct. The soul of the Imam, the Amr of the Imam, in that blink of an eye, in that moment, the fine moment, gets transferred. And that is why we say there is no gap. There was not a single moment when Imam was not present. I'm talking about that fine moment when the soul and the Amr was transferred into the Shah Rahim. We did not know. How would we know? We are Garib and Nachis. We don't know. We did not know until it was made known to us that will has been read and Shah Rahim is our 50th Imam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. That is for us. For the Imam, we cannot say that Noor for a second did not have the kulli marifat of the fact who is and will be Imam Zaman. That is the concept of Nuran ala Nur. And that is the concept of the Bayya. And that is the understanding, the smiley understanding of the Imam, Bayya, and the Farman Bardari. So let's talk about Farman Bardari. Farman Bardari. What is Farman Bardari? What is Farman Bardari? First, I would like to present this one Farman from 2000, Khardar, Karachi, 2000, where Imam Zaman of the time had emphasized, and you can see this Farman on your screen. I only want to read you what is Farman Bardari. That's all my point. I want to make the point to the listener today and the listener tomorrow. Why this ilm is been given to you today, yesterday, and years in the past. Who told me to do this? Who have given me the permission to do this? My Imam of the time had given this permission. Imam want Jamaat to attend those classes that teaches the faith. Imam wants that. Imam wants Jamaat to understand the faith. And for that you have to go to China, go. Never ever stop yourself from receiving the teaching of the faith. Doesn't matter what happens. Imam of the time wants you to have the knowledge, the teaching, the ilm of our faith. So attend regularly, not once in a while, regularly, the classes that teach the faith. In one of his other Farman, Imam says, those who amongst you have the knowledge must give that knowledge to the Jamaat, and Jamaat would have this knowledge through them. It is upon those who have the knowledge to help their brother and sister and give the knowledge. Never ever take the answer that no, you should not ask question. Never take that. If somebody tells you that don't ask question and don't seek answers, I would think twice. Always follow the Farman of the Imam. This is a 2 session. Today we lay the foundation. Imam Zaman and the Bayya and the necessity for the Farman Bardari. So how do we understand the Farman if you don't have a Farman? How do you follow the Farman if you do not have the Farman? So what we will do tomorrow, and as you can see in your screen, we will take the highlights. We will read the Farman, but highlights from the Farman of the Imam Zaman. And we will see what Farman and what can I do to follow my Murshid, my Imam Zaman. How you will follow and fulfill your promise to your Imam Zaman. How you will follow this Farman. So this is our goal, to help the Jamaat. To help the Jamaat. Now, I know there always are a lot of questions and sometimes we cannot even finish answering all the questions. For that, I apologize. I will do my best to answer the question. Keep your question precise and brief so we can answer quickly. So I already had 2 questions just as I was starting the class. If you don't mind, let me go ahead and talk about those 2 questions. And I don't think it would take too long, as I may have already answered those questions. So she's asking the Nur, the Nafs, and the transfer of the Nur. So I believe I have already answered that. second question is very interesting. She is asking, when Shah Karim gave that Amr to Shah Rahim Al Husseini Hazir Imam, did something happen at that moment? And he was nothing and became something? He had no knowledge and all of a sudden he had all the knowledge? He was in complete darkness and all of a sudden came into the light? Very interesting question. What power did he all of a sudden have? I would answer this way. That remember that Imam prepares his next Imam sometime for days, weeks, months, and years. Years. And due to the Nur in the new Imam, the Nur starts to work early on. Only thing he is missing is the Amr. Until the Amr comes, he does not declare his Imamat. Meaning, there is only one Imam Musakkar at one time. And other cannot declare himself to be Imam and Musakkar until the Amr, the fine second, the moment comes. So the wisdom, the Nur, the Talim, the Isme Azam, all of that comes much earlier. There are some exceptions to this saying, that when the Amr comes first and the Nur full-fledged and the total Marifat full-fledged comes little later on. There are some exceptions, only one or two, not very many. But let's talk about common and normally. The Nur, the Isme Azam, the understanding of the Imamat comes much, much earlier. And when the Amr comes, then Imam declares himself to be the Imam Barhaq, and then only he gives the Farman, the guidance to the Jamaat. So those were the two questions that I had received.